Hello from Spain. I'm making paella in a no-stick pan, which would probably make all my neighbors mad because it's the wrong pan and I'm doing it for supper instead of for lunch, but we're going to do it anyway. Start off with lots of olive oil in the bottom of your pan. The pan's already hot. And then I've got a green pepper and half of a big onion, so that's the other half of my big onion, just to show you the size. That's all going to go in the pan. As well as 4 cloves of garlic. Just really chopped big and chunky, that's fine. I'll put some salt in now too. We're going to cook that down until it starts to get soft. So that's been softening, sweating for about 7, 8, maybe 9 minutes. The texture has completely changed in the vegetables. And then we're going to add in chopped up 3 small chorizo. And this is 2 chicken legs, deboned chicken legs, that I pulled the skin off of and just chopped them up into chunks. I'm going to put all that in. And I'm going to wash my hands because they've got chicken on them. I'm going to add the tomato and the paella spice. The tomato, these are chopped tomatoes, and I'll put in about 3/4 of that size of a can. You know what, I can probably do the whole thing. The whole thing's good. And then I'm going to add the paella spice and let it cook down. So you can buy that kind of a thing, paella spice, that comes in little envelopes. Or here in Spain you can buy at a lot of places just a whole full mixed thing. And that's going to have, if you had to make it yourself, that's going to have paprika, black pepper, rosemary, thyme, some clove, some salt, some saffron or saffron coloring. I'll try to find the stuff with saffron because it tastes differently. And I would add to the size of a pan about 2 tablespoons. So what they write on the little packages, I would always double. If it says this is enough to serve 4, then I would put in enough to serve 8. Mix that in and then let that cook down until the tomatoes really start to break down. That's been going for about 5 minutes and I hadn't defrosted my squids yet. So there's just squid rings that were frozen. And I've got a handful and a half that are going to go in. I'm putting them in now because squid you either want to cook for 30 seconds or 30 minutes, but you don't want to cook them anywhere in between or they just turn rubbery like erasers. So stir those in and get those starting to soften up. And next we'll be adding some rice and putting some shrimp on it. So this has been cooking down for 7, 8 minutes maybe. And now comes the tricky part because we're going to add the rice and you're trying to figure out how much rice can you fit in there. And I think I can get 2 cups of rice in there. So this is short grain rice, not the long stuff. This is close to what you would use for making risotto. So it's kind of short and round stuff. And I think if I put 2 of those in, and I'm going to double that with chicken stock. You could just use water, or you could go half chicken stock and half water. But I've got the chicken stock, so I'm going to use it. So that was 2 cups of rice, which means we're going to go, sorry I said 2.5 times that. That is 2.5 times the liquid to the rice. So 2 cups of rice, 5 cups of liquid. I'm going to turn that up to a higher heat to get it bubbling. But before we do that, we're going to put the shrimp in. And these shrimp, I buy them head on and then I shell them and devein them, so I take that vein out of the back. If you just have make sure they're raw shrimp, don't buy cooked shrimp. But if you just have the shrimp bodies, that's fine. If you put the whole shrimp in without deshelling them, that's fine too. That's the normal way to do it, and it makes it a more interactive eating experience. The thing is, if you don't have the shrimp, or if you don't have the calamari, just make a paella that's chicken and sausage. And even if you don't have the chorizo sausage, as long as it's not a really strong tasting Italian sausage, that'll work. So you can pretty much put any combination of things in there that you want, but you want the fat from the sausage. You could put pork instead of chicken. You could put, normally what I do when I'm making a big one is I would get the tiny little clams that the Italians call vongole, and I'd put like 20 of those in there now too, and the juice from the clams flavors it all. So we're going to bring that up to a point where it's simmering and bubbling away, and the key here is don't stir it. If you stir it now, you're going to end up with a risotto, but not a good risotto. It's just going to be mushy. And so what we want is for all of that liquid just to evaporate. By the time it's evaporated away, if you've got 2.5 parts liquid to 2 parts rice, the rice should be cooked perfectly and there won't be any liquid to make it soggy. It'll be a nice dry paella. So here's the paella bubbling away, and that's about where you want it. You don't want it boiling so hard that it's pushing the shrimp around or anything like that, but just find the temperature where it's bubbling and steaming and bubbling and steaming. Okay, that's been bubbling away for 20 minutes. It might take 25. But what you want to do is, there's not much steam coming up. Just take a knife, go down the middle and see if there is any liquid in the bottom. And there's hardly any liquid in the bottom. So it's almost done. It's probably 3 minutes from being done. So all you do is stick your lemon wedges all around the outside. You have to always use an odd number of lemon wedges because it looks better. I don't know why it looks better, but it does. So with that, I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to cover it with some foil just to finish it and leave it for about 5 minutes covered with foil. So that's been tented with foil for about 5 minutes. I'll use a fork and you can see the rice it's not dried out, but it's not mush either. So that's it. Paella in a no-stick frying pan.